Well, the porch is done, so let me show you real quick how that looks. I put those little solar lights from Five Below, and they worked last night. It was so cute being lit up. It just makes me feel so secure when I can just look out my window and see lights. I mean, I can see those path lights, but having the little lights on the porch was so cool. It looks a little odd because this is off by itself right now, but that's because I haven't built my rail yet. I'll build my rail. Couple things I want to mention for anybody who's trying their own first time construction. One, take the advice of other people, but when you've got something in mind, don't let somebody talk you out of it. I let the guy at the hardware store talk me out of 1x2s for my rail. He said, no, you're going to need 2x4s for a rail. And can you imagine if I tried to put a whole 2x4 up here, what that would look like right now? That would just, it'd be like overkill, right? That would go out to here. That would just be overkill. It would make the whole thing look lopsided. I knew I needed a 1x2 handrail. I should have just stuck to my original plan. Luckily, I had a spare piece of decking board that's just about 2 inches wide, and it's already 1 inch thick. So this worked out. I just was able to use a leftover piece, a scrap piece, and get that. But yeah, and then the railing's only gonna have to be like a 45. Like I'm gonna cut a 45 on one of the edges. Okay, so, oh, the other side of the porch. It just says, let it be. I have a thing for bees, and every time I get a gift, my daughters use some sort of a bee thing for a topper. So bee stuff will pop up all over out here. So that's my little let it be porch. Okay, second thing I learned as a rookie. These decking boards, instead of running north and south, should have ran east and west. And the reason why is because the steps are going to run this way. So, you know, that's a rookie mistake. So the steps will go this direction and the porch goes that direction. But that's okay. I mean, this is all new to me. I've never done this before. So this is all a learning experience, right? Alrighty, so and the post did stay. I'm kind of happy with the way that little fountain fits right there for now. And we plugged that in last night, and that was so soothing. To have the solar lights and the fountain running was so soothing out here. So next is the steps. So I didn't buy a prefab riser. Listen to me, talking like a construction person. A riser. I guess that's what they're called. So I didn't buy a prefab riser. So I'm just going to have to build a frame for steps. And I want 2 on this side and 2 on that side. So, wish me luck. Okay, breakfast was yummy. I had a good double shot macchiato to get me going. So now my next step is to, I've already cut these, is to cut, I have to make myself a frame, a riser. Oops, I had that up there so it would stay. So I gotta have something to make all of this secure, right? Like you don't want wobbly steps. So basically I have to build a frame to set the steps on top of. Now the steps themselves are easy. That's just 29-inch decking boards. And since I have 2 steps on each side and 2 boards per step, that's a total of 8 boards. So 8 boards at 29 inches long. And now I've got to make something to attach it to, and then I have to think about my height. So an average step is 7.5 inches off the ground. I don't know what that is in centimeters. I'm in America. If I was an extremely tall person, I would make considerations and make adjustments if I were extremely short. I'm average. I'm 5'4" 3/4". So I'm going to make them as close to 7.5 inches a piece each rise. But the distance I have to go would make the last step awkward. So I'm just going to make a slight adjustment, and I'm going to make each step 6.5 inches from the last step. So I need to build a frame. It's got to come out like this, like an L shape, like it's got to come down and out, and then I can build my 2-step frames. And then to determine how far out this board needs to come. I laid the steps out to where it looks like a comfortable step, or it feels like a comfortable step. If I had to reach too far in between each step, then that would be uncomfortable on my hips. Remember, I'm winging this. I'm just figuring this out as I go. So however far apart this board is now, that's how long I'm going to make that board. Oops, I made it crooked. Okay, then another thing you want to consider is how far apart my steps are from each other. So in walking, I found that 3.5 inch distance between steps is comfortable for me. So 3.5 inches out, then the 2 steps, 3.5 inches out, and the 2 steps brings that to 29.5 inches. So that's how long I'll make my baseboards, 29.5 inches. Okay, so my brackets are in place now. They're not screwed down to the porch because I need to put my brackets in there. Now the issue is I need one bracket to come 6.5 inches up off the ground, and the second one to be 13 inches up off the ground. But the ground's not level, so I can't just cut 4 brackets all the same length. So they're going to be a little bit longer on that side since it slopes down. But I got to do it so it's level. But you can see it's starting to come together. And there's my riser for my first step, first side. And if I want to, I could always go in later and put something in front of here, some little decorative thing. Knowing me, I'll have, I don't know, a fountain, a garden of something, the monkey grass, I don't know, something will be there. So now all I have to do is that side has got to come up to make this level, and I'll do the exact same thing on that side and then do it higher for the next step. I made my own riser. So, y'all know me, that's pretty good for me. Of course, nothing's screwed in place yet, but that's well within range. So I figured it out. I made my own risers. So I don't know where my inspiration comes from sometimes. I think my dad watches over me. I really do. He was so good at construction. My dad could do anything though. So he was my hero, and I used to follow him around. So I think he's definitely watching over me. Now it has to be comfortable stepping in between this step and that step, and I measured for that, and all I have to do is make this one come up 6.5 inches higher than that one did, and do the exact same thing for the next step. Wow, not as hard as I thought it was going to be. It's just humid. This is like working in Guyana or something, what I would imagine Guyana to be like. Phew. All right, I will make the second step. And that's it, it's all put together. It actually, at the end, started going very quickly because I sort of knew more what I was doing. I'm not crazy about this space right here, so I'm probably going to put something there. But it works. I just need a rail, need to finish screwing it down, and it's very comfortable. I did it. Thanks for watching. So here's the porch, all done, except for I haven't done the steps on the other side, but that'll come much quicker. But I love the stain. It's kind of hard for you to see because it's shady here now. It's called Early American 230. I thought it came out really pretty. I did put some stabilizing brackets right there and right there. And the steps, I mean, they felt like they'd hold up to a hurricane. I'm gonna put a finishing board across there and across there, just because, you know, you can see that it needs it. I can't put it on the side like the other because I'd have to go underneath that camper, and I'm not going under there. But I thought it came out really, really nice for my first porch, my first little, it's not my first construction because I did make the inside of the camper, but you can can see it from the side. So that's it. And steps on this side will go much quicker because I kind of know what I'm doing now as far as making those steps. That's it. Just remember, if you want to tackle something like this, get a vision in your head, make sure all your tools are charged and sharpened. Don't listen to other people. Take other people's advice, but kind of go with what you have in mind. Like I said about those 2x4 rail versus the 1x2. Yeah, that 2x4 rail would have been awful. And just learn. Every time you make something, learn from it. All right, y'all. Blessed be.